Good. So Mountain Mingo is the first race of today, and I mean the first race of the Grand Prix Grand event. So let's go ahead and start this match here, and let's get the race started here. The Grand Prix, 8 races to decide who is going to be the champion of this week, and the first race underway. Here we go. Good luck, have fun. All right, we are underway for the first match of the Grand Prix. Now, last week we did see FD907 take home the Grand Prix in a very stunning way. Even though, you know, we did see him win the first 3 matches there, he lost every single other map after that. And still, it kind of depends on how you get here initially. Sometimes what will happen here is you can have a huge momentum from winning very, very close matches here, or winning a lot of matches here early on. And even if you do lose, as long as you get that early advantage, it can be very great for you. So again, in these Grand Prix, the early game does matter quite a lot more than people will think here, actually. So again, as long as you can do that in the Grand Prix, then you'll be well on your way, you know, towards an amazing race here. But again, we're still early in the match here in the Grand Prix, and we'll kind of see, you know, how this all plays out. Now, immediately, as we can see, FD and Tank kind of going off the blocks here fast. Now, Tank Arcade does take position of FD. A nice overtake coming in from Tank Arcade. And now we see Tinjos and Tank both going head-to-head. Now, in these obstacle races, I think we see Tank Arcade having a little bit more of an advantage. But again, now we see FD ready to overtake against Tank. Tinjos and Mel, Tank Arcade, FD107, 4 players who are in the top 4 right now in this current race. Going to be tricky to see who kind of gets off the block here first. But again, a very, very close matchup between all these different players here. I think we do see Tinjos, he is going to be coming in first. If we take a look here, Tinjos now is going to be taking that first position down the funnel, and Tank going to be following close behind. Now what we see here right now between Tinjo and Tank is going to be tricky here. But now that Mel actually does take that position here as well, we do see that Mel could be in place for second place. But again, it's going to just depend on how well they play through these obstacles. Now, what's unfortunate here for Tinjos is that he does not get the initial spin there. If somebody gets the spin right here and lands on these bumpers, or that's going to be a huge advantage for them. So I think Pidgeotto could be doing that. But again, all players are taking the safe route. Nobody wants to go down the middle side here. It's so unfortunate. But we do see Tinjos again taking that positioning. Again, he does take a huge advantage of what he still has here. So even though Tinjos was knocked back a bit far behind, we do see that he is actually making this a interesting match for himself. Now, most likely we're going to see Tinjos coming in here in first place. I don't see any way possible that somebody can overtake, because Tinjos now is going pretty well in this match. But Tinjos actually does get knocked off by the bumpers here. So FD907 and Tank going to take home that first and second place position here, and Mel also getting knocked off here as well. So unfortunate for all these 3 players, and Gylo also coming off the map here. And now we only have 3 players left. APOC Gaming is going to try to take that first place. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but all these players did fall apart in the last match there, especially APOC as well. What an unfortunate style there. But again, FD907 is still playing this Grand Prix to his advantage there, taking home that match with some effective gameplay. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but again, at the end, I believe we saw the bumpers just really take a toll on all these players here. They did not play well through these obstacles here. This is not a map that you get knocked off from very easily. But again, you know, being able to survive, you know, for taking FD was so crucial just in general, because it still allows them at least to stay in the match here, at least get a positioning where it allows them both to get points here. And now FD and Tank are going to be the first one to put a point on the board, and that was just an insane match there. A GG all around for FD. Very similar. But again, to join the race, please go ahead and do !play so you can be in today's matches here. And we can start the second match of today's Grand Prix Grand event. So I'm officially the guy with the most games played in the season on this stream, but still almost everyone has more points. That's unfortunate. Like, think about how much RNG has to hate you there to do that, because the thing here is that Gallo is a subscriber, and also somebody who's played a lot here. So immediately when you're a subscriber, you already have a higher chance of winning. But it seems like it's unfortunate because the RNG is not really giving Gallo that advantage that it needs to. So that is so just so unfortunate, and not a huge advantage there coming in for Gallo. So again, hopefully in this Grand Prix we'll see Gallo win some races here and have some things going away. But again, in this season, it is still early in the season, only the third you know, tournament league thing of the season. But again, this week can be something new here if we do see Gallo making a good performance in this Grand Prix. But we are in the second race of the Grand Prix. But again, to join, all you have to do is exclamation mark play, and you'll be in the matches here. So again, we're going to still allow some more people to join here. If you are not in the Grand Prix matches yet, please go ahead and do so by exclamation mark play, and you can have your chance to win. But again, I'm gonna drink some more water here for a second. Alright, so we've got 6 players in today's Grand Prix. But again, do not fret, guys, because eventually, like, think about this: every single week when we build up these Marble Monday streams, we're going to be reaching out to the community on Marbles on Stream, and we can just have some great events, great things going on. And this Marble Monday event will only continue to grow, guys. Like, think about you know, weeks and weeks from now, or even probably a year from now, when we keep doing these events, like all the racers that we'll have here, you know, maybe 20 racers, 40 racers, like, and if we are, like, for some reason, I'm not for some, but when we get partnered on Twitch here, the point where we have like 100 racers every Monday coming on to join us, that would be awesome. But again, I have a lot of visions that we see here. But again, let's start the second race. Let's not keep ourselves too preoccupied with that. So again, the buckshot here, a very interesting map choice coming in from the viewer's choice. I believe it's going to just have to depend on who gets to the target here first. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see that. We have 6 players here ready to join us. So let's start for today's second match of the Grand Prix. Very, very interesting to see. All right. So good luck, have fun between every one of these to all players here. Again, we do have 6 players only in the Grand Prix so far, but hopefully we can still have a few more joining us as we go along here. Now Gallo taking a huge position down. We do see that he takes a side angle to his advantage here. We can't see a huge spike here from Gallo. Now, what is going to happen here if Gallo keeps his positioning here very well, then he can really make a good match there. Now Gallo taking the right turn, which is going to be incredibly faster. Another right turn for Gallo here. I think Gallo is trying to go for the map record here. It is very, very possible here that he does so. I mean, he only does have about 10 seconds left. He is kind of a little bit behind on the world record here. Can Gallo actually do this? Gallo he has a huge advantage so far of the map. If he does get to the target end point there, and Gallo gonna hit the first point there. I think Gallo is already only a few seconds away from the world record there. What a spectacular match there coming in from Gallo, folks. I don't think you understand the magnitude of what just happened here in this race. Not a lot seemed to happen, but Gallo coming down the blocks here first of all, and having everyone else. Wait, that was what? Wait, hold on. Oh, it goes by distance. What the hell? What the hell? Are you kidding me? I thought it went by time. Okay. We've never seen a race that was dictated by distance traveled. That is or short distance travel. That's very, very very, very rare to see. I thought Gallo traveled the shorter distance, but again, yeah, what a race there. Gallo did, I mean, he got there first, but unfortunately they don't count time for that. But again, a win from Tindos there, going to grant him 4 points. Gallo does get his points on the board. So now we already see the first 3 players coming in, and Gallo's first point of the day. So at least that is something to be happy about. So again, third race here. It was a very interesting race. Buckshot is a unique sort of race here that we don't see. We don't see time-based things being the deciding factor there, but it's instead by the shortest distance travel to get to the bullseye. But again, overall, a great little matchup there. So again, to join today's race is here, go ahead and do !play. Now here's another map that we see here, folks. This is what I was talking about earlier on. APOC is the local record holder for this map in particular here. Now, the reason that is, again, when we see maps like this where you don't have to rely a lot on tricky maps, tricky skips and all that stuff, this is more of a classic map, just thoroughly speed straight out match where you can avoid some angles in the corners there of the pipe. But again, this really comes down to your fundamentals here of racing in general, and APOC is such a general here down the down these classic maps that he has such an intense and immense control of the matches in general. So I think APOC, again, it will probably be somebody who can is going to be very tough to challenge when it comes down to this specific map here, because if we saw here APOC and I think it was APOC and Tinjos or APOC and Zanzar who are leading back and forth in the first and second place position, but again, it's still anyone's match here. So whoever kind of comes down the grids here first, the pops here first, it is going to be interesting to see how that does play out. So again, good luck, have fun, everybody, and let's start the third match of today's Grand Prix. For some reason, we can't start it because Marbles on stream is trolling us. There we go. All right. All right, good luck, have fun to all the players here. Now, what we see here, very interesting. APOC, again, like I said, folks, coming down the grid first. Now, that's only by split second, but that split second can give you a huge advantage if you decide to let it do so. APOC and FD kind of taking some interesting positions here first, but again, APOC Gaming, I think he's going to be the first one off the blocks here. We can already see, FD and APOC and Gylo coming in first, the first three positions here, but looking at who's the closest towards the funnel, it looks like it is going to be APOC Gaming here. APOC, again, going to have an amazing control here, and I think he's going to be ready to come down the grid here first. APOC, again, not beating his record here, but still very close. APOC and FD trailing head to head right now, and it's going to be so great to see what happens here. Now, the real question is, in a map like this, FD does play off so well. I think he is a kind of a jack of trades here too, where he can play in these he can play well in these standard matches, these standard maps here, but he can also do some really tricky really sort of tricky angles, and he does have some nice trick plays that kind of play to his advantage here just a little bit here. But APOC, again, I don't think he's going to be trying to face off against his own record, unfortunately, there. So we do see the ghost piece immediately kind of moving around here, and I don't think anyone's going to go for that record here. But again, what do we have here? Again, Gylo now somebody who does get a huge advantage here early on, but will Gylo be able to stay in the match here in general? That's the real question that we will have here. But if we take a look right now, we do see Gylo kind of coming off here very, very strong here. He overtakes APOC's position right now. A strong overtake coming from Gylo. And FD already, I spoke too soon. FD is way far behind there, so I do imagine that FD did get stuck behind the initial sort of thing that we saw here. The initial thing, but the initial obstacle. But now we have APOC and Gylo, two players who are very, very well adapted to this map here. And now we see Gylo is trying very, very hard to take over the positioning coming in from APOC, but I don't think he's going to break the record. But at least, Gylo can aim for a first place finish here. We don't have anyone who's close here, besides APOC. But I think it's highly unlikely here for APOC to even overtake Gylo if he chooses to do so. But it seems like Gylo is going to try to stay in the match here, but he's going to be knocked off a little bit if he can still go through the portal. But wait a minute, this could be anyone's match here. It seems like Pidgeotto is going to go through first and overtake all these players here. Now, like I just said, it was unlikely for anyone to overtake Gylo's positioning. But again, Pidgeotto just doing a great job When he saw the obstacles coming in through, he knew that he could take advantage of all the players getting stuck, and I think it just came down to timing and how well and effective he was going to be able to do that. But again, in these obstacles here, it does seem like Pidgeotto is just really taking this match home away with a huge, strong lead at the moment. Pidgeotto, we see that even the ghost piece for APOC, even the local record holder, does not stand much of a chance here. I think we can see a record that's breaking by about 10 seconds, maybe even 20, depending on how fast Pidgeotto decides to go here. But again, Pidgeotto just making a great match for himself. But again, he's going to have to do a little bit better than that because APOC, I mean, never mind, it doesn't matter. I forget that's the ghost piece, but Pidgeotto is still just taking home this match here very, very effectively. I don't really see, you know, a chance where anyone is going to overtake this now at this point, because this just comes down to a straight lead here, depending on how well you control these angles and bump these obstacles here. Now, Pidgeotto, to break the world record for break the local record, is gonna have to be an insanely perfect race here to finish off, but it seems like he's not gonna do that. But still, that is gonna be a GG. Pidgeotto, just by 2 seconds, or shy of the map record by 3 seconds, is actually going to take home that match. So a good game. GG for Pidgeotto. And this time around, all the players are trailing very, very closely behind. But again, APOC gets stuck there, unfortunately, and gets last place. That is so unfortunate for APOC. Again, he was leading off so strong to start with, but again, at the first huge obstacle that we saw, he did get a huge overtake from all the rest of the players here. Gallo was the first, but again, not only getting stuck there, but getting stuck at the finish line again was a huge disadvantage here for APOC. But again, a great match overall from Pidgeotto, taking home that win in the third Grand Prix race. And that was just an insane match there that we saw. Now, a lot of players here very, very close here. FD07 is still leading the boards here in the Grand Prix with 5 points. So that can be something that is so unfortunate for the rest of the players here. But again, what we don't see this week from FD07 is he is not actually, you know, winning these maps here early on. So his early game is not too strong as it was last week, but still he does have a lot of strong races under his belt. So again, it's gonna be hard to see what happens there. But welcome, MK. How's it going? MK the Sketcher, thank you so much for joining us in the stream. It is Marble Monday, so we are doing the grand event, the Grand Prix. So if you're new here, I'm not sure if you ever played marbles on stream before, but by the way, how's your day? I can't speak, but how's your day going, by the way? I know you're probably like probably just chilling there. It's a Monday, unless you had like work or something, but I mean, it's always a very chill day. I like Mondays a lot. I, you know, came to realization, you know, your enjoyment of each day is just your whole like mental strength there. So Monday is one of the days actually that, you know, personally I look forward to the most in the week. So I don't know. So we're doing great. I'm glad to see that you're doing great as well. But again, so we're in the Grand Prix event. So if you want to play marbles with us, literally all you have to do is type !play. It is 5 characters, quite literally 5 characters, !play, and you'll be into the race. Like you see there, Tank and Gallo are both in the can't speak, God, my tongue, in the match here. So again, MK, doing great. Glad to see that you're doing great as well, and you know, that you're just, you know, chilling with us. Again, thank you so much for joining today's stream, just having a good vibe with us. And we're just, again, finishing off the Grand Prix. We're halfway in the grand event, and then we're going to finish off with a huge Royale Mode battle there. So again, a lot of things that happen, but this is our Marble Monday event we do every single Monday, just to kind of update you on that. So one of our things that we do quite a lot here. So if you want to play in the match, like I said, like you can see everyone here doing so what that does, !play, it puts your marble into the race automatically, and you can see immediately that you are inside the match here. So, you know, thank you so much for joining us. And if you decide to lurk too, that's totally fine. That's totally awesome. But if you want to race there, you don't have to be watching the stream either to race. So it's totally up to you. But again, we're in the halfway mark of the Grand Prix. So while we have more players join the race here, let's look at today's. Let's look at the 6th match. Wait, is Echo still on? My bad. Yeah, my bad, folks. My reverb on the mic was still on for the esports Echo, but again, so looking at this map, Eye of the Storm, it's going to be a very tricky thing to see. Now, I imagine here, it looks like the storms around Saturn here. It looks like Saturn's ring is just going to just completely destroy and dismantle you before you even get a chance to finish here. So again, it does come down to like how well you're able to just kind of have that equal control. It is precise timing and just that control of your angles there, that velocity that you decide to launch off at. So again, for these players, it's going to be very hard. I don't see a lot of chances here for people to survive in general in this next map here, but depending on who can do that so well, it is just going to be interesting to see. Now, a lot of players here today are not really geared up for like tricky spins here, tricky sort of map movements. They are really classically or fundamentally sound in their race strategies here. Unless you get a player like FD or Tindos where they can both kind of play through some interesting map twists and turns, or just map challenges, they do take risks sometimes that can pay off pretty well. So all right, it's all good. Well, thank you for just kind of sitting back here and just at least vibing with us and just having a good time. So we appreciate that so much. And again, thank you for joining us. So let's get to the next race, Eye of the Storm 2, and let's get started here. All right, forgot to drink the water before this race, so my throat might be not up to date here. But again, good luck, have fun to all the players here. Now, again, what we see here when it comes down to this match is going to be very interesting, because what we see is FD and APOC coming down the funnels here first. They have some good ankle control when it comes down to this funnel, but again, we see APOC and FD actually. Wait, no, it's gonna be Gallo actually coming in second place, but again, FD, he just, I don't know what it is, if it's RNG or the algorithm that somehow decides this, but FD is just doing a great job of coming down the funnels first. He has such a great early game speed that allows him to take advantage here and have a good positioning early on, but it seems like he does get stuck in the angles there. FD, though, I spoke too soon, he's not going to have good angle control, but we see Tindos coming off the landing into this huge pipe just very, very well. So I think Tindos can be having a great race here, but again, it depends on how well you manage to come through the Eye of the Storm here. So literally the map is called the Eye of the Storm because this is the deciding factor of whether or not you go into this race here in an effective manner. So again, Tank now comes down to the pipe here very well. It seems like Tank, is he going to get caught in the storm? Tank Arcade is trying to brave through the storm here, but he is getting stuck trying to get through the portal here. Tank is getting pushed back, trying to brave through the storm here so well, but it seems like Tank Arcade is going to go through there first. A great overtaking that positioning there from Tank. I'm not quite sure how he got there first, but it seems like now Tank is going to have a huge advantage here. Tank Arcade just about 20 seconds away from the map record here overall, and that's going to be APOC Gaming. But what do we have? A huge boost there from Gallo. I'm not quite sure what just happened there, but it seems like that's going to be a DNF there for Gallo as well. Two players already knocked off the map, but Tank Arcade, GG. 30 seconds shy of the record, and now Tinjo's getting knocked off here. Like I said, folks, this is what we expected to happen, because what really happens here is in this storm, a lot of players are not going to survive in this map, but Tank Arcade is going to be that first place finish there. A great match overall. Pidgeotto's second place finish, but what an insane, intense match. It really started with these huge pipes there. The first pipe really just allowed people to get knocked off there so easily, and especially this one here as well. I think it came down to this here little bumper. So these bumpers here really played a huge role in how somebody was able to finish this map here. So again, that was so unfortunate. Now if you get the bumpers there and you take, ever so slightly take a huge angle approach there, you can still control the where you land there even more effectively, but none of the players were able to do that. So again, Tank Arcade, like I said, just going he's much of a he's just even with the odds stacked against him as far as algorithm and RG goes, Tank Arcade taking a great match in this Eye of the Storm here. So we will probably see in the Grand Prix that Tank is able to control these angles so well, and in these matches here, in the obstacles, he is able to just kind of break through them and actually take them, use that to his advantage there. So Tank has some great angle control. He can avoid obstacles so well, and just GG, just an overall a great match there from Tank. Again, we did not see that coming, but he did a very nice overtake when it came to the first, you know, longer pipe there, and that really was the match for him after that, and nothing was able to stop him. But again, what a great match there, from Tank. So GG again, and now we're gonna go to the next match of the Grand Prix. So I gotta keep coughing, hold on. So immediately, you know, something that, you know, that we kind of noticed here in this week's Grand Prix, in this week's event, is that there are so many close positions here. We don't see FD taking a lot of winning positions here. He does still manage to stay in the map. So again, just that consistency as far as map finishes go. He doesn't have to win every single map, but you know, players who can stay in the matches there are going to be highly likely to at least place in the top 3 in the Grand Prix event. So again, that could be something that does give you a huge advantage there. So now, as long as you understand that you don't have to win every match, but still you have to stay in the map in general, that can be a strategic gameplay strategy. So you don't have to be the riskiest player out there when it comes to the risky maps, because you know the odds are stacked against your favor to survive there. So again, you're not going to really be in the map for all too long unless you are willing to take that risk and it does pay off. But in the off chance that it does, even so, like, you have to decide where your sort of playstyle is and if it's going to be worth it to kind of stay in that sort of match there. So again, just a great match overall. So again, we're going to go to this next match here. We're waiting for a few more players to join, but again, between all the finishes here in the Grand Prix and all the races, like, these players are very, very close in points. But this is a leap to remember. I don't think we've played this map here either. The record for this map is 1 minute and 21 seconds. So I think this is going to be the first initial problem that we see here. If players can manage to just kind of dive through these spinners here well, then they can just have a great performance in this map here. But again, we do have some bumpers that go underway, and it can slow you down and slow your record down. But again, I don't see how this map can take just 1 minute to complete. It's going to be a very tough, you know, match here to face off here. A very tough race to at least stay in the map in general, because this first initial part here is going to be the trickiest thing to come through. That sort of initial setup is just going to be the deciding factor. It all comes down to timing and your approach in general, in the speed at which you approach that ramp there, which is all going to affect your, you know, your ability to play in this map and stay in this and at least have put points on the board. So again, this is a place where you don't have to play too aggressively here. Your playstyle can also be, you know, very calm and collected and strategic, more methodic here, in which you don't take risks. You just kind of play to your fundamentals here. But again, I think we're just gonna have 5 racers for this next match. So good luck, have fun, everyone. And now we're in race 5 of the Grand Prix. All right, good luck, have fun. As we can see here, coming down to the the sliding platforms here. It seems like APOC is going to manage to avoid a lot of the platforms that are the dropping platforms here very well. And now APOC is going to have that, going to be getting there first as far as like that positioning early on. So that early position here, his early game is going to be coming in very strong here for APOC. I do think he's going to come down here with Tinjos. It's going to be a close battle, when it comes to this first these first rotating spinners. So again, APOC and Tinjos, depending on how they land, it's gonna be so important here. APOC does not get knocked back here, neither does Tinjos here. So again, that is gonna be a huge advantage there for APOC, but FD also looking to overtake here. Gonna kind of depend on what happens. It seems like APOC is gonna be going straight ahead here, as well as Tinjos. Tinjos, no, did not glide in there effectively. The side bump, I mean the side angle here in the pipe did not actually play to his advantage there. So again, like I said, coming off that first block is going to be a huge disadvantage here if you do not approach the angles here very well. Now APOC getting a little bit stuck here. Gallo does have a position to overtake right now, and FD as well. So there are only 4 players left in this match here, but still APOC with that early advantage there coming on from the dropping platforms. It seems like it did not phase him that much, but FD is still looking to overtake here as best as possible. I don't think you can overtake with a player like APOC, since you know he does play this these maps very soundly. He can manage to avoid obstacles here very well. So APOC is just a very great veteran player, a very experienced player that can can control these bumps here, these obstacles very well, and make that go to his advantage. And again, we do see a GG coming in from APOC, and the fog is going to be approaching right now. So again, coming down to this last speed is going to be crucial here for these other players to kind of face through. It seems like FD though is still going to try to go for that second place finish. So again, like I said, you don't have to win every single race, but if you can get good finishes consistently, it can be playing off very well for you. So again, a great race there from APOC. Now he is showing his veteran status there. But a great win from him. We do see 2 points coming in from there. 7 points still. Like I said, folks, 7 points. You do not have to win these races here, but to take advantage of that, you're going to have to win multiple races in a row now to just to overtake here in this position here in this Grand Prix. So it's going to be very tricky to see how that does play out right now, but you're going to have to be able to win every single race now if you want to get FE off his feet here, because it seems like he just wants to keep winning almost every race. That is just that's just tricky there. You know, when you get to these races here in the Grand Prix, you have to at least finish very consistently, even if you don't get the first 3 places. But it's all good. Like I said, if you want to lurk, MK, you don't have to tell us when you're back or anything like that. Trust me, we welcome lurkers here, because you know, I'd say about half of the stream here is lurking. So again, lurking is the backbone and the spine of the community. So we do appreciate you guys very much so, the fact that you're lurking here, and just keeping the community up, because it still shows a lot of support, love and support, that you support this community in a very specific way, and in which you want to keep the stream up to allow people to discover what's going on. So again, lurking does play a huge role as far as like discovery of the community in general and all that stuff. So you guys also, again, always don't want to understate or underplay the significance that you guys have, the lurkers here in this community. So again, thank you all so much. But again, guys, so on Wednesday, I just want to make a quick note. On Wednesday, we are going to be actually having questions of the day pop up again. So since we finished the poll there, questions of the day is going to be popping up. So again, my apologies that we didn't get that going sooner, but QOTDs will be popping up here. So again, stay tuned for that. So that is that's just something that we did 2 weeks ago. We stopped doing that because we had to decide the poll for community content and adding more things to the stream in general. So that's the thing there. But again, QOTDs will be coming back up. I know people have been asking about that or trying to get that back up, but we will do that. We will do that. So no worries. For the people who've been wondering, my apologies there. But you know, probably there are points where we don't get to things as quickly as possible, and that is, you know, mainly on takes the fall on myself there. So we'll try to do better at making that happen. But all right, so again, we need we're gonna a lot more players to join. We do have 2 more races here, I believe. No, sorry, 3 races left in the Grand Prix. So again, if you want to join the race, all you have to do is !play, and you'll be in the Grand Prix. You can join the Grand Prix at any point in time, and you'll still be with us here, still having a great time. So again, exclamation mark play to see if you're going to be in the Grand Prix. Now, looking at this map here, Coils of Power. Now, this is something that APOC has a huge advantage on. Now, this is one of the maps that he understands and he plays through so well because, you know, APOC is a very, very safe player. He does not try to push it here too far off. And sometimes in the map like this, it can play a huge disadvantage to you. But if you can stay consistent here with your more conservative play style, you can actually have a good win here and pull off a very good match, you know, depending on what happens here. So if you're playing riskier here, you can get knocked off by the cubes, and that can be a huge match slow, a huge slow for you, but, or, you know, a stun for you, I guess, whatever you want to call that. But again, this map is very interesting to watch. Coils of Power is something that's played a lot here in the Marvels community, but also in the season here. Season 15 is really in the meta for a lot of what the racers will do. So again, let's start the match here now. Forgot to drink more water. My bad about that water ASMR, folks. My bad about the water ASMR. Rest in peace. Okay. Alright, but good luck, have fun. Let's go right back to the match here. So like we see here right now, it seems like APOC and Tinjo is kind of approaching the funnel here just a little bit quicker, as we can as we can see right now. So coming into this, funnel control is very important here. The funnel and angle control are two very important things that players need to master here, that racers and Marvels need to master, because once you do that, it gives you a great position here. Usually you can take the lead on from this initial funnel here very well, and it's a crucial advantage to have, especially when you're playing in these more standard maps here, where safer gameplay or where safer strategies can actually give you an advantage there. So mastering that sort of mechanic, that sort of thing can really put you ahead early on. But again, it just depends on the RNG sometimes and how well you are able to play through this when the portals come about. So Tinjo's is going to be the first person to come down the pipe here. What a great position there coming in from Tinjo's. He is going to skip the portal here. So what we see from Tinjo's is that he is trying to, you know, go a little bit safer here. It's like semi-safe. Unless he goes down to the portal here, then he can play off well for himself. Now, what's interesting here is that the portal there doesn't move. So that's immediately a huge concern there for a lot of the players here. So Tinjo is going to be knocked back here by a huge time loss, unfortunately there. So now Pidgeotto is going to overtake this position here so well, and just even past the map record here, the local map record. I think Pidgeotto now is going to be on position to actually do something here very well. So Pidgeotto 71 is just going at an insane rate here, going incredibly fast right now, even past the map record, like you see here. When you look at this ghost piece here, where the cube, invisible cube right there is on the white piece here, let's look at this. This dictates what the map record here is locally on this community. So thank you so much for the follow, by the way. You know, we appreciate that so much. That kind of tells you what the world record is for this thing locally. But again, Pidgeotto though, he is a little bit stuck here. So if somebody does take the side advantage here, it can be tricky to see how that plays out. But I don't think FD is going to be able to overtake that position there. So GG from Pidgeotto, just by a slight, a few milliseconds, overtakes that position there, and he overtakes the world record. The local record for this map. And now APOC again, third place, putting some points on the board. Pidgeotto still winning here, but like I said, in this Grand Prix, it's so incredibly difficult to see how this plays out, because if you do not have consistent map finishes, even if you don't win, you need those at least the top 3 finishes, because that still puts points on your board. Since this isn't like a huge stream where you have 20 marble racers here every single week, you really have to make sure that your map finishes are always within the top 3. So you have to really strategize here very well. but again, hi Gina, how's it going today? Glad to see that you're here today and just having a great time with us. So again, yeah, so if you want to play with us too, you can. All you have to do is !play, but you have to do that when we start the race here. So I'll tell you when we start the race, and you can actually join us for the race here. But again, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so very much for the follow and just joining us in the stream. It does mean quite a lot that that you're joining us and having a great time. But okay, so looking at this here, this was a really great match there coming in from Pidgeotto. Even though he did get stuck at the last finishing part, Pidgeotto was just still able to get some great map control. And now Pidgeotto actually does take position here, since he does have 2 map finishes, wins here in this Grand Prix. Now what happens here is he can still have a chance to overtake FD's first place finish here. So Pidgeotto gearing up to win the Grand Prix. Now, if we look at the records here, APOC was I believe, probably the first winner of the Grand Prix 3 weeks ago, and then it was FD as well. So people who are here quite a lot, but I think Pidgeotto here, somebody who's kind of new to the channel as well, we can see one of the rookies here today actually take control of this and really just take home this Grand Prix match. So now what this does is allow Pidgeotto to actually set himself in a good position here to win the Grand Prix and get himself in a good advantage as far as points go. So it is still a very close race here. Tinjos can also take control of this as well. So I'm not quite sure. Gallo only has 2 points, so quite literally Gallo is going to have to win two matches in a row as well. Like Gallo and Mel will have to win 2 matches in a row to win the Grand Prix, or like to put themselves at least on the top 3 position. So it is so difficult to see how that goes. But all right, so again, if you want to join the match, !play, everyone, !play. Even if you're not in the Grand Prix and all that stuff, it doesn't really matter. You can still join at any point that you want to. So go ahead and do !play. You can do this as well, Gina, if you just joined us here as well. Everyone has a chance. So again, I want to emphasize this very, very clearly. You do not need to have marbles on stream. You do not need to own this game to play, with us here today. It's a very, very interactive, community-based game here that we have. So again, all you have to do is !play, and you will immediately be in the race here. You can watch yourself race and have a great time. So I'm gonna go ahead and drink some water. My God, this is what shoutcasting does to you guys. Your throat, like my throat is I have to keep drinking water like after every single match, because when you are shoutcasting, when you are like commentating for esports or any tournament, it does get really tricky to keep your chops in check, keep your throat underway. So that is something we have to do frequently. Even in other tournaments that I do outside of marbles, like, well, this isn't a tournament, but you get the point. Like the Tetris, since I'm in like the Tetris esports scene, I do tournaments very, very frequently, and that's some of my commentating experience a lot, and that requires me to drink a lot of water, a lot of water. But forgot to turn the esports echo on. Alright, so good luck, have fun. As we can see, we're in this match here right now. Sorry about that, folks, got a little bit carried away. So again, what we see here, now Pidgeotto was taking an interesting, play there, coming on to the last match that we saw. I think Pidgeotto now feeling a little bit of rhythm here, as you can see, going down the pipes initially, going down the funnels here a lot better. So I think that Pidgeotto's funnel mechanics here will play a huge role in these next 2 races here. Pidgeotto, now feeling a lot of rhythm, can actually overtake here very well here and actually finish the map so effectively. But it seems like Pidgeotto, the RNG is not going to be on his side. So FD907 now is trying to be poised to win this race. Can FD do it here as well? I think that Pidgeotto can still overtake here very well if he decides to do so. It could be a close match here from Pidgeotto, but it seems like he is going to probably take, I'm not sure route it's the safest, but again, Pidgeotto taking a significant lead right now. It seems like both Pidgeotto and FD are going to both be kind of in a very, very close position here right now. As you can see right now, folks, they are both so close in where they are in perspective of in like if you see like a mirror matchup here. Now Pidgeotto is going to be trying to go here a little bit faster. It seems like the turn can actually play to his advantage right now. FD907 though going to overtake Pidgeotto ever so slightly. Now this next thing is going to be very important here. If you do not land on the platform in time, you will be topped out of this match here. So again, even if you did the rest of this match here so effectively, you can still be knocked off here. So again, it is going to be so dependent on time. It's going to be so crucial on time to decide how that does happen. But it seems like it's going to be so close. I don't think FD is going to be able to get through there in time. Can Pidgeotto also get there? It seems like Pidgeotto is struggling. It seems like he's going to get there first. FD and APOC both going to be topped out. Pidgeotto with 2 wins in a row is actually going to be her next match winner. And that does mean that Pidgeotto takes a huge leap, a huge advantage there, because now he is leading the Grand Prix by a significant amount. What a great game there from Pidgeotto. Gallo trying to stay in the match here as well. And Gallo now taking home a 2nd place finish there. GG. What a match coming in from Pidgeotto and Gallo, both now putting points on the board for the Grand Prix match here. Before the last match, what a great way to do so. And now that does mean that with 3 wins under his belt, that Pidgeotto, even though being tied in points, he does take a significant advantage there as far as the Grand Prix goes, and that does give him a huge place to be in. Now Gallo does have 3 points. If he wins another match here, I believe, or gets a good positioning like that again, he can be in one of the top 3 finishes here. So we do see a lot of board movement here. APOC trying, he started off so well, but again, APOC even doing well in the standard race modes, the Grand Prix did not play well to his advantage here. So again, like I said here, folks, you can do so well in the standard matches here, but in the Grand Prix it's a different story. It's like the playoffs. If you watch sports, the playoffs here are something that are completely different from standard matches here. So this is why the Grand Prix is the grand event for a reason, and why there's so much emphasis on being prepared. It's just the nerves can get to you sometimes. It's a psychological warfare that happens in the Grand Prix. So when you're racing, when you're racing here in the Grand Prix, you have to understand that things get harder just a little bit more here. You have to be prepared. You have to play as if it were a tournament here, because this is where the best will shine. The best of the best as far as racers go will shine here and show just how well they play through these maps effectively. So again, this is the Twisted Toothpick, not a map that we've also seen before here as well. A new map that has been shown to us today. A lot of new maps that we get to experience in this week's Grand Prix. But looking at this here, we don't really see a lot of places where people can get knocked off here. So again, it's more of a speed-based map here. So if you get knocked off, you're going to be tricky here. This is the only place where I can see someone getting knocked off here in the initial part, because you can approach an angle like this here and either get knocked back like that or just immediately bounce away. So again, this is going to be a really tough match to face off with, especially with these bumpers here. So a very, very cool thing to see here. But let's kind of see, this last match is this map is the last match, the last race of the Grand Prix. So let's try to see who can all join in for us, folks, because this map is where it all counts. So !play if you do want to join us for the last match of the Grand Prix, because there are going to be a lot of crazy things going on in the last race. This is where it all counts here. So we could possibly see Pidgeotto take the winner this week, or will FD kind of continue that streak of doing so well in the Grand Prix. So FD, just a great racer overall. I'm not quite sure where the skill comes from. He is a new racer in the season here as well. So we just see a lot of talent here, you know, in this community and Marbles on Stream. A lot of racers this season that have really come to show, you know, their playstyle and just show how well they can do, you know, coming into these Grand Prix and these races. But again, we do have a great start here coming in from Pidgeotto, APOC, and FD. So a very, very tough match coming in right now. Pidgeotto again taking an initial lead here. I think Pidgeotto, you know, he has a lot of momentum built up here. FD is trailing so close behind, but if FD does not win this match here and Pidgeotto does take that positioning, that does mean he is going to be winning the Grand Prix. But again, FD going to take a very good angle there on the side. He is still trying to overtake as well as possible, but it still seems like Pidgeotto does not want to be overtaken here by that positioning right now. So again, folks, it is an incredibly close match between FD907 and Tinjos. I don't think there's a lot of choices or a lot of chances here for anyone to get off the map. But real quick though, APOC though is stuck. He does not have enough speed that he needs to get there. So APOC, I think we can count that as an elimination there. That is so unfortunate to happen. But now Pidgeotto is going to be coming off here first. I think Gallo actually might be the first person to take the lead here and advantage. FD907 though, he's going to get knocked off here and pushed back just a little bit. So now FD loses his position, but Gallo and Pidgeotto are both going to this match here very well. Pidgeotto close to getting knocked off of the map there, but he just hugs the wall so well. Like I said, Pidgeotto does have a nice angle control. Gallo now is not going to have those dreams revived there, and that win was falling so short. I think Gallo got knocked off of one of these side ramps here. But again, FD still manages to, even though getting stuck behind, he manages to still play through that well, and that means Pidgeotto and FD907 going to take home that match, and that's a GG for Pidgeotto again with 2 or 3 wins in a row. The last match of the Grand Prix. What a great match there coming in from Pidgeotto, and unfortunately APOC again, he is going to be stuck underneath the fog, and that's going to be a finished match there. APOC not going to have a good RNG base race. What a match there coming in from Pidgeotto, and let's see who the Grand Prix winner is. What an insane event here that we have. You know, we can assume that he will be, but we can't see until we finish the Grand Prix. So let's take a look. Third place finisher, it seems like it's going to be Tank Arcade, even though he wasn't too active in the Grand Prix. A great match here. FD coming in second, and again, your Grand Prix winner is going to be Tank Arcade. GG, coming in with 10 points. What he did so well at the end, the very last 4 races, you know, Pidgeotto decided that he wanted to take a huge momentum, and that first race that he won really snowballed and skyrocketed from there, because Pidgeotto just really seemed to take advantage there of the starting block and just trying to control the angle so well, even though he did have a few hiccups there. Again, a great performance from Pidgeotto. Again, it does depend on how well you start the Grand Prix, but it also depends on how you finish the Grand Prix that decides how you're going to win it. So again, Pidgeotto just waiting to the last minute, using his reserve force to reserve speed. Again, a very, very well thought out strategy. Pidgeotto coming in when everyone else was exhausted and took home an insane Grand Prix. And even Tank Arcade, you know, only doing 4 races, but still having a 3rd place finish was amazing to see there. So again, just a lot of talent here that we see, you know, in these races here. So what an insane, you know, Grand Prix that we saw today.